United States, we have been increasingly familiar with announcements to shelter in place. These announcements often increase anxiety and warn us of the dangers in the world around us. God is calling for us to do far more than shelter in place. In this season, you must prioritize embrace of a lifestyle where you consistently shelter in God. For many years, God has been revealing in dreams, visions, and other impressions the precarious nature of the earth. At some point, I will open up about the many things I see, hear, and know, but for now, God has instructed me to release the following counsel. 5 points. Number 1, your livelihood in this season makes submission to God a non-negotiable. We must submit all things to God and refuse to compromise. This is not to play it safe. This is to play it submitted. This is the war stance expected of kingdom citizens. Despite what the world looks like, you affirm God's sovereignty, God's lordship in your life and the world at large through your submission. To this regard, heed your God impressions. When you are inclined to stay home, choose a different route to work, keep your children home from school, decline invitations and opportunities, or even do something out of the ordinary, heed the impression. For many, this is truly a matter of life or death, the gain or loss of significant resources, or even the question of whether you are positioned and postured to exit one season and enter another. Heeding your God impressions will not just impact where you go, when you move, how you act. It will also shift your diet, your cravings and longings, and even your use of resources. Lean in and embrace the shift. High-level decisions are being made that will determine the next for the United States and other nations. God is affirming Amos 3:7 by revealing both potential and inevitable realities to prophets. This is not to produce fear, but to emphasize the importance of God's people walking in their God-ordained identities through greater submission and deepened intimacy. It is vital that God's people understand where their security lies. Our security rests in our submission and affirmation of God's sovereignty in the earth. It lies in our decision, our consistent decision, to play it submitted by sheltering in God. The plagues of Egypt in Exodus, God's care of the righteous in times of peril, and other biblical texts are support of this. I've included some of those texts on the website. Meditate on the word and declare these truths when you are tempted to embrace the deception, fear, grief, and the pursuit of control produces. Number 2, keep your eyes on God and incline your thoughts upward. There are so many distractions in today's climate. Many have fallen prey to these distractions and have rendered themselves as dull of senses as the people of Isaiah 6:9 and 10. Having sensory organs like eyes, ears, hearts, and minds, but lacking the equipment to properly work those sensory organs. This is strategic, but not in the way most perceive. Most would profess this to be a demonic strategy, but no, this is a God strategy, often employed to ignite a season of divine judgment. I encourage you to read the whole of Isaiah 6. Isaiah's prophetic call is to warn a people who lack the ability to truly heed his call. He is not a prophet who warns of a judgment that can be averted, but one that is certain. In many ways, today's climate is similar. Judgment is inevitable. It is just a matter of time. But time in this context isn't about days, months, years. It is rather a matter of posture and positioning. Strive not to look laterally to the left or to the right. The choice to have lateral vision is to lean on how things seem to appear, and things are not as they seem. Look up. Be determined to keep looking up. This is not the season to avert your eyes from God. As you look up, God will reveal where and how God's hand is operational in the earth. And this is more central than most know, as it determines the side of God's hand you are positioned to experience, whether you encounter God's workings in a way that is for you or against you. Number 3, this is the season where giants fall. This might be alarming, but remember, seasons of exposure are also seasons of emergence. Exposure is at work and has been at work in all of the mountains or spheres of the earth. You should expect the unveiling of mind-boggling truths in media, politics, arts, religion, and several other key arenas. You should also expect the same in the church, but be not dismayed. Exposure is not just a deceptive tool used to encourage distraction and downward thinking and living. It is also a divine tool employed to ignite monumental shifts in leadership and systemic oppression. There is and has been a changing of guard at work in the earth and the church. While some fall, others emerge. Who you submit to and the action you produce in secret determines where you land here. Your submission and sensitivity to the Spirit of God can place you in a position to receive great wealth, restoration, and even influence in this season. It is indeed in seasons like this where we can experience the manifestation of biblical texts such as Deuteronomy 8:18 and Proverbs 13:22. Your obedience can set you up for the kind of transfer that positions you to receive the wisdom and social and economic capita necessary to shift your current reality. Number 4, be strategic about living Matthew 11, verses 29 to 30, and refuse the temptation to serve another altar. Matthew 11 is often used to encourage believers through tough times, but I want to encourage you to read Matthew 11 differently. In Jesus' counsel to accept his burden and yoke, Jesus highlights the truth. All must carry something, and all must choose a yoke. The encouragement here is to choose Jesus' yoke, which is easy, and burden, which is light. This is another reminder to submit yourself in all you have, all you think you have, to God. And when you do not choose the path of submission to God, you are indeed choosing to yoke yourself to another. We are also advised here to carry the burden God has ordained and graced us to carry. The burden you are graced to carry is significantly lighter than any other burden you might choose to carry. Your choice here matters. When we are in positions of need, we often make choices that adds to the burden we carry. We also act out of our need and dethrone God in the process. When this happens, we are guilty of averting our eyes and serving another altar. We shift our service from the altar of God to the altar of our needs. Maintaining your fealty to the altar of God is central in this time. Embrace God's yoke, especially in times of discomfort and vulnerability. Number 5, reject all tendencies to centralize divine purpose and calling. In seasons like this, there is no shortage of believers moved to fulfill their call to make disciples. There are many warning of the state of the human soul in the midst of a world facing judgment. Yes, salvation and care of the soul is important. Living out purpose is also important. The pursuit of purpose, however, is often associated with a tricky deception that often leads to delusion, legalism, and grave perversion. You might find yourself internally screaming, "Why? How? What?" You are called to greatness. Yes, you are purposed to share the gospel. And yes, Many of you are and have been entrusted with the care of others. The gospel, however, is not about the pursuit of purpose. It is a call to follow Jesus by dying to live. Jesus' work on the cross was a restorative work, a work that restored humanity's access to its original identity. Taking up your cross, dying to live, reveals, affirms, and permits you to live bearing the image, posture, and identity God created you to have. Dying to live is a process that requires the active pursuit of God. Purpose is automatically lived out in your pursuit of the God who created you and instilled within you your unique purpose. It is in your pursuit of God that God reveals your identity to you. In your active pursuit of God, God empowers you to not simply do, but be. When you embrace who you are, purpose is achieved without having to avert your eyes. Your pursuit keeps first things first and maintains your service to the altar of God, not the altar of purpose through your perceived service to God, i.e., your service to God or the people of God, void of consecration, stillness, and ever deepening intimacy with God. I hope this ignites you in the best of ways. Much of life's choices is at its core about the altar you choose to serve, the altar you choose to submit yourself to. The life you choose to live, to lead in this season, must be one that ensures your fealty to the altar of God. How you fare in this season depends on your continuous choice to choose God's altar through your conscientious, intentional action. If this helps, feel free to share with others. You are also welcome to add additional counsel in the comments.